Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is series 2, episodes 4 and 5 of my Slimming World journey. As you'll notice, that I didn't do a video last week. I've had an absolute disaster this fortnight and so I couldn't do one last week. At the end of my video on a fortnight ago, I mentioned that I'd walked into a pelican crossing and cracked a rib, and I thought then, oh, it's quite sore, but I had no idea what was to come for the rest of the week. That was on the Saturday, and on the next day, the Sunday, I came down with a cold, and it was the last thing I really needed. The rib I broke was just about here, which is about 4 ribs down from my collarbone at the front, and I found hiccuping the first day. I mentioned on my video I found hiccuping was agony, but once I got the cold, I cannot begin to tell you how painful it was. Coughing and sneezing, and it was just a nightmare. I couldn't hardly sleep at night when I was going to bed. As soon as I lay down, my chest was filling up. I felt I had to cough, and I couldn't cough lying down because the rib was so painful, so I had to sit up and bend over my knees and hug my chest to cough. And sneezing, when I felt a sneeze coming on, I was just in panic, trying to do everything to get into a position where it wouldn't hurt quite so much. So consequently, I didn't go to group last week. I didn't even feel like eating. I've not eaten Slimming World this week. I couldn't concentrate on it, but that's not to say I just let it all go out of the window. I did concentrate on trying to vaguely stay within free foods. I mean, the problem was I didn't want to eat anything. I've noticed a few other people say this on their channels this week that have had bugs. And one night I made a curry, and just the idea of eating it turned my stomach. I felt sick a lot of the time, I think because I was eating paracetamol for my ribs. And I was up most of the night and day, so I was just taking them every however many hours you were allowed. And I felt quite sick, and I didn't want to eat any cold foods or any food that had anything like spices in. And most days, I think for about 5 days, I just had my blueberry wheats in the morning. I couldn't face the apple. And then dinner time, I just had it plain rice or one of the Uncle Ben's microwave rice, just plain. I just couldn't fancy anything on it. And then for tea, excuse me, for tea, I was often just having a piece of toast. So, I mean, when you get into it, yeah, the toast is sins. I don't know how many. It was quite a big piece of toast, so probably about 8 or 9 sins. But then on top of that, there was lemsips, there was menthol sweets to suck, which in the end, I didn't care how many sins were in them. As long as it stopped me from coughing, I wasn't really interested. But I don't think, looking at it, I really don't think it would have taken me over my sins each day. I thought about getting the sugar-free throat sweets, but when I looked at them online, it said could cause a laxative effect, and I thought, well, the last thing I need, because my tummy was already in turmoil, the last thing I need is something else that's going to upset my tummy, so I went for the ordinary ones, and I just thought, well, it'll just have to take its course. So that was for about a week, and then when I started to feel better over this weekend, I did start to eat a bit more, and I was overeating it a couple of days. I wasn't over my sins again, but I was eating far too much free food. I think after the week I was just so hungry. I hadn't eaten properly, and I was just so hungry that I overate on the free foods on Saturday and Sunday, which is okay. I mean, I really felt I wanted to overeat, and it's better sticking to free foods in that situation than it is going on to all kinds of rubbish with loads of sins in. So anyway, that was the week. It was a terrible fortnight. It really was. I can't describe how uncomfortable it was. And also, I haven't been out of the house since today was the first time I've been out of the house since I did the last video, and I really wanted to get down to group today, but I still felt I couldn't go on my own. So when my hubby got back from work, we walked down with the dog and went in, just got weighed and came home. And I was pleased I'd lost £2, which it was great, and I got my, I meant to ask Andy which way up this went, but anyway, I'll twist it round and back to front. It's my Half Stone Award, so I was really pleased with that. And Andy said, I thought you'd have lost more than £2, you've hardly eaten anything. But, you know, when you take into account, normally I go to the gym 3 times a week, I walk every day, I haven't been out of the house, and in fact my whole drive has been to not move as much as possible because it was so painful, so I've hardly moved in the fortnight. And I think sometimes just because you don't eat very much, it doesn't mean to say that you start losing loads of weight. You know, that your body, I think, uses your food in a different way. So that's been my fortnight. Hopefully things are back to normal now. It's our anniversary today. We've been together, we're not married, but we've been together 34 years today, so we're celebrating tonight. I've had almost all free foods today. When we got, I was going to have to text my consultant, because when we came out of group after being weighed, there's a chip shop right opposite the group, and Andy said, "Oh, Smo, I could really go some chips." So we went over to the chip shop and he got a portion of chips, but I'd already cooked pasta. So when I got home, I had pasta and a curry, vegetable curry that I'd made. And he had curry and chips, but I thought, I bet the consultant was looking out the window and seeing me, because I had to stand outside the chippy because we had the dog, so I had to stand outside the chippy with the dog. And I thought, I bet she's looking over at me thinking, oh, I got the chippy straight after group. But I didn't, I just had pasta because I want to have I want to share a bottle of Prosecco later with my other half. We're going to watch a film, and we've had a very stressful week with various things going on with an elderly member of our family who's very ill, and it's been a very stressful week, and it would happen just on the week where I then couldn't help at all because I was full of a cold. I couldn't go anywhere near them because it would have made them worse. So it's been an incredibly stressful and painful week for both of us. And tonight we thought, right, we're going to watch a film, have a bottle of Prosecco and just chill out. So that's what we're going to do. Where are you going? Yep, my co-presenter Sandy's here with me this week. Not been here the last couple of weeks because she doesn't tend to get up until about 1 in the afternoon, do you? No. Come and, don't face over there, no one can see you. Yeah, she doesn't normally get up till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. She's a lazy bones, so she hasn't been here the last couple of times. But we've just been out for a walk now, and she actually came to group, didn't you? You came to group, and everybody said, oh, sorry, Sandy. Everybody said how lovely you were, didn't they? And you didn't get weighed though, because she's a skinny bit. So that's been my fortnight. I hope the next week is going to be so much better, and I should be back on plan now, back to sinning things and getting it all together, because I haven't kept any kind of a diary. I've just been mentally trying to make sure I'm not done too bad. So I'll see everybody next week, and hope everybody else has as good a week as I'm planning to have this week, because I'm feeling so happy now. I'm feeling better. I'll speak to everybody next time. Bye.